And I can see the logic behind the signing, even though some Arsenal fans...
We actually worked a good passage of play.
Arsenal and footballing community. Like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to AlbertJTV.
Good morning, Arsenal community. Now, the reason why I'm saying good morning is because it is UK time, 22 minutes past midnight. This is a pre-record, so by the time you watch this, it should be Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon or even Wednesday night. But I thought I'd do a pre-record. Arsenal 0, PSG 1 in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Experience matters. That is the title. People, smash the like button when you do watch this back on the rerun. I might put this on my audio, I'm not too sure yet. So Apple listeners and Spotify listeners, be on the lookout possibly. And yeah, listen, I wasn't at the game, as you might have known. So I watched it at home like most people. We didn't get a ticket. Hot ticket in town. But yeah, as I said in the title, experience matters. It does in the Champions League anyway, particularly in the latter stages, i.e. the semi-finals and the finals of a top elite European competition. But let me get all the juicy stuff out of the way. So people, if you're joining me for the first time, smash a like, subscribe to AlbertJTV, and follow my Twitter and Instagram handles, which are at the bottom of the screen. So I look forward to interacting with you a bit more. But yeah, experience matters. It does. I think the first thing that stood out for me, looking at the lineup, was the bench. Just goes to show, doesn't it? If, with the exception of Ethan Nwaneri, from an attacking point of view, and just generally what was on the bench, that was a concern. But listen, we ride off the crest of a wave, beating Real Madrid twice over 2 legs. The key thing is when you start these games, particularly these high-level European competition games, you got to be switched on, you got to be focused, you got to be concentrated, you got to start well. Arsenal did the complete opposite. Horrible start. We 1-0 down after 5 minutes. Ousmane Dembele. Now, great strike. From an Arsenal perspective, too easy. There was quite a few alarming occasions in the beginning, in the first 5-10 minutes, where they just opened us up in central areas. And you got to look at the midfield players in terms of Moreno and Declan Rice, and even Kachuk and Ødegaard in that, in terms of who was picking him up. When you actually look at the goal and when it was actually gone in the net, look at the amount of Arsenal shirts that are in the box. Who are we picking up here? So that's a very poor goal to go 1-0 down, and it rocked Arsenal, you could see that. And going back a tiny bit, emotion was spoken about a lot in terms of before the build-up, all the PR videos and the Arteta stuff, and maybe the players got caught up in a bit of that emotion, because we didn't start that game well. And I think, and I mentioned this before on my channel previously, on my social media posts, I'm not saying as an Arsenal fan you have to sit there and watch every single European domestic competition level of football, but I said this on the hybrid squad technically yesterday night, that with sections of our fan base, we are very, very dismissive and very ignorant to European nations. Arsenal have been out of high level European competition before the last couple of 7 seasons. You know, Bayern Munich, we're going to roll over them, they're doable, we're going to beat them. We're very naive after 2 legs. You've got to learn quickly and take your baby steps quickly in the competition, which Arsenal have done. Hence the reason why we beat Real Madrid. There wasn't an expectation there, I think, when we played Madrid. I think a lot of people didn't have us as favourites to even get through, but we beat them over 2 legs, and then the expectation changes. Now we're looking to see what Arsenal are going to do in another high-level octane game. And for 20 minutes, we were under the cosh. They were experienced. They moved the ball quickly. They were more efficient. The fluidity between the front three of Dembele, Doué, and Kvaratskhelia. The midfield dynamism of João Neves and Vitinha and Ruiz. We were chasing shadows. We never really got through that entire match having a sustained period of play. We didn't. You could watch that game 10 million times. We didn't have a sustained period of play. And we slowly worked our way back into it. The last sort of 5-10 minutes were a bit better in the second half. And at this level of football, you have to take your opportunities because you might not get many. Martinelli has to score that. He has to finish that. There were too many occasions where our go-to players, our creative players, were poor. Losing the ball, taking too many touches of the ball. Martin Odegaard, Trossard. If the bench is stronger, I would have hooked both of them. I didn't think they're good at all. And the problem with Thomas Partey's ill discipline and his emotion getting the better of him is the reason he missed that match. Declan Rice has got to play deeper. We're taking Mourinho out of playing a good job being the sort of backup striker, bringing him back into midfield. He's not the most mobile. And that affected us quite clearly. David Raya made some key saves, one in the first half. You know, and actually, the second half I thought it got worse. I thought the second half for Arsenal actually was like a lot of Arsenal's performances in the Premier League. We took our Premier League form into the second half in the Champions League in the second half against PSG. Struggling to break down low blocks, moving the ball too slowly, taking too many touches, not enough fluidity in the front three. PSG didn't have to come out and be on the front foot because they'd already got the goal with Dembele. And they actually could have scored a couple more. A massive missed opportunity from Barcola. And obviously, Ramos comes on in the second half, hits the bar as well. Arsenal could have been out of this tie, but Arsenal had chances. Trossard's got to do better. He's got to score that. He's got to strike it better. I'm not going to give too much credit to Donnarumma because I think he should have scored. I think for me, looking at this match, because I don't do too much of a long review because I'm tired. Arsenal have a big opportunity to make a Champions League final. That opportunity was not taken tonight. I was surprised how poor Arsenal were. Really poor. Where was the in-game management to just change things slightly? We're chasing again. We're losing 1-0. We need to go to Paris with something. Ethan Nwaneri, I thought would get at least 15-20 minutes there. I couldn't believe he put him on in the 88th plus minute. It's incredible. He gives you a spark. He ignites something. He gives you something different. He could have shown something more than Odegaard and Trossard showed in that match. Saka looks coming back. I'm not going to give him too much stick because the reality is he's missed more than 3 months of worth of football. Showed some flashes in the latter stages of the first half, but pretty quiet. Martinelli should have scored in the first half. Had a slight chance towards the end of the match, blazes it over the bar. Fine key moments. But Arsenal luckily still have a second leg to turn this around. We made it difficult for ourselves. You know, this PSG side have taken care of Villa. They've taken care of Liverpool. They know how to play against English teams. This is not the same PSG that we played in the group stages. I was at that game. This is chalk and cheese. You've got a serial coach, winner, Luis Enrique. He demonstrated that tonight. Superb. So, Arsenal got a lot of work to do. Let me try and see if I've got some stats, people, in regards to the game tonight. Or yesterday night, technically speaking. Let me have a quick look. So Arsenal almost 48% possession effectively. PSG 52. Shots on target. PSG 11 to Arsenal's 10. Arsenal 5 on target. PSG 4 on target. I thought a lot of the players tonight were not great tonight. The atmosphere was quite subdued. You know, the players are very keen to sort of testiculate to the fans to get to raise a roof. We're doing that. Give us something on the pitch. The fans are with you. We're with you. You've got to give us something more than what you gave us, particularly in that second half. Miles Lewis-Skelly, phenomenal. Played to the level required at that level. Got on the half turn. Moved us up the pitch. Declan Rice, I actually thought he was okay tonight. I did. I know some people feel indifferent, but I thought he tried, particularly in the second half, to come from deep with his driving, galloping runs. But Arsenal just didn't turn up. Very subdued atmosphere from what a lot of people were saying. I have to speak to some of the Arsenal fans that were at the game, but Arsenal have got 90 minutes to 120 minutes to save their season. We need to go from progression to success. We have a massive opportunity to try and get to a Champions League final and win a competition we have never won. Let's create our own history and own narratives. But tonight was disappointing. As I said in the title, experience matters. It does. And it showed in periods tonight. We could have lost that game 2-3-0. We could have at least got a draw with the chances we had. People, listen, drop your comments down below. Tell me what your thoughts were. Where it went wrong. What the positives were, if there were any. And generally your thoughts about the game and the players individually or as a collective. Let me know your thoughts below, man. But that's AlbertJTV over and out for another match reaction. Arsenal have it all to do to save their season. It's not over till it's over, but Arsenal have not got a lot of time to get this right. So people, it's AlbertJTV over and out. See you soon.